offer a meal recommendation app for physically active people to achieve their goal faster and get better outcomes. So the app, the way users interact with this application is once they have completed a physical activity on a tracker similar to Strava, Garmin, or anything else, they will get a push notification on their phone asking them to check out what they should do next in terms of getting the right nutrition and hydration post workout. When they land, the landing page just welcomes the user and then give them a quick stat on their last physical activity. And the way we should pull this information is by integrating with the application which tracks their activity. After that, they get to the next page, which will give them recommendations around how they should hydrate themselves. These recommendations will be based on the activity, the level of strength in the activity, and then depending on where the users live, what kind of weather there is, what day of time they did the activity. And then the last option, they will have an option based the meal option based out of their workout. So these could be things like how much carbs they should eat, what kind of carb they can eat, what are the option for that, what are the sources of protein, and then it should create a meal plan for them. And then the last feature we want the app to have is a way for users to chat with a personalized meal expert. This could be a bot-based chat, but basically if they have any follow-up questions, they should get an answer using this chat. So going back to the exercise, the description of problem is this is for active individual who lack a convenient way to discover the best post-workout meals which aligns with their fitness goals. When we look at different steps and different tasks someone does, generally these people go and review health website and magazines or food blog to know the best options. They also get input from their friends, family, trainers, or acquaintance. They track their activity on some sort of device, using some sort of device they wear. It could be a watch or a tracker. And then they also have applications like Garmin, Strava, which gives them a visual way to know the activities. After workout, they generally review the stats on the app, and they also go through health screening to know how they're doing physically, looking at their blood cholesterol level, their blood pressures and stuff like that. The basic insights we get from this task analysis is most people don't look for this information on a regular basis. They generally care about this once in a while. And people who use some sort of app to track their activity has an entry and exit point, which is when they get push notification and they look at the stats. So based on this analysis, we want to limit our population to only the people who use some sort of tracking application. So Strava, for example, in our case. User experience design, we want our user UI to be very intuitive. It should be an application on their phone, and ideally people who use this should have enabled their notification so that they can see the recommendation once they have completed their activity. We could also think of just linking it in Strava, but that could be later. And once the user click on notification, they should see various options for food and hydration. This should also provide a way for them to chat in case they have questions. What kind of input we need from users? So we obviously want activity detail. This could automatically be pulled from the tracking apps, or we can also ask user to input these. We also want to know their dietary preference, whether they're vegetarian, gluten-free, vegan, or anything else. Allergies and food restrictions, so that we can limit the options to what they can eat. And then we also want some sort of feedback to our recommendation, so a way for them to give us an upvote or downvote on the recommended options. To be able to provide transparency to the model, we want them to know what data we're collecting and how we're using it. and then some way of explaining why a meal option was given. So it could be things like most people who do activity like you have found these to be more efficient way to get the carbs, protein, or stuff like that. Um, Obviously, this is based on recommendation system, so we want some way to provide users the likelihood or uncertainty with any option we give. So we could use word like you might like these options, which kind of infers that this is a guess, a recommendation. We can also provide some sort of likelihood percentage on how this will drive to better outcome, meaning if you eat better, healthy, non-fried food for more than 30 days, likelihood of your blood sugar, cholesterol level to go down is this much. Um, Obviously, we want to be clear that this is not a prescription or some sort of getting a way to treat an illness. We want them to obviously refer to their doctor for any sort of serious illness or treatment, and should only use this to drive a better health outcome. And then the other thing which should be made clear to the user is this, that even if they follow everything we provide, does not guarantee that they will achieve the result they're looking for, because health is a complex thing and a lot of factors goes into deciding how someone's health ends up being. Privacy consideration, we want to obviously be very clear about what data we collect. So key inputs are activity detail. This is the mile they run or the bike, how much they ride, for how long, what time of the day, things like that. Demographic data around how much they weigh, what is their age, gender, because these things are key to decide someone's food or dietary options, their preference, restriction, and then a way for them to provide feedback. We believe we should not be HIPAA compliant because we're not collecting any health issues or medical health data, but we can be CCPA, which is California law, and then GDPR in case some of our users end up being in Europe. What could be the sources of bias? Obviously, the data we'll use to build this model is going to be historical data, and this data could be biased in many ways. So there could be a very specific segment of people who use it. There could be underrepresentation of certain ethnical group or certain age groups in the data. And by definition, this data is biased toward people who are physically active, and these might be the only people who are tracking their activity. So someone who starts new or beginner might get biased results. So how do we make sure we have fairness, accountability, and transparency in system? We want to make sure that our data is the best representation of the entire population. If there are biases, we understand them and figure out a way to treat them in the model. We also want to make sure it's clear that anything we do does not ensure that you will achieve your result. This is our best guess for you to achieve the results, and also this is not a way to treat an illness, and you should always consult your doctor. And then we should provide them insights into how we recommend something to them. So it could be based on other people similar to them who have liked that food option and find that to be useful, or because the nutrition, or because of our model suggesting that to achieve certain level of fitness, these are the kind of things they should do. That's all. Thank you.